1:15 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says he will continue his premiership. A 5,000 rupee allowance will be provided to 3.1 million low-income families. Concessions will be given to the people who have been affected by the Uma Oya project. National Home Garden Program of Haritha Dayak begins today. Cabinet approval to submit the IMF report to the Parliament. Ministerial meeting of the BIMSTEC begins. In foreign news, Ukrainian officials claim 5,000 killed in Mariupol. News in detail. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says he will continue as the Premier. The Prime Minister said that he has more time and will not retire immediately. He said that he has nothing to do with the opposition leader Sajith Premadasa or the UNP leader Ranil Wickremesinghe. He has also said yesterday that he will not step down to make way for Mr. Wickremesinghe. The Premier added that the SLBC is confident of winning the next presidential and general elections as well. The government has decided to pay a special allowance of 5,000 rupees to low-income earning families for 2 months in the festive season. The cabinet approval has been received for it. About 3.1 million identified low-income families will receive this allowance. All construction activities of the Uma Oya multi-purpose development project are nearing completion. It has been planned to complete awarding concessions to those affected by the project in the next 6 months ahead. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers granted approval for the resolution completed by the Minister of Irrigation for the issuance of free grants under the State Lands Ordinance for the alternative plots of land awarded to the owners of houses devastated due to water leakage experience related to tunnel excavations of this multi-purpose development project, accelerated compensation for the houses eligible for total compensation is recommended for evacuation by the National Building Research Organisation NBRO, as well as for providing opportunities to cultivate in the original residential lands under precise conditions. Haritha Dayak National Home Garden Cultivation Battle for 2022 commenced this morning. The program is being implemented at 2.2 million home gardens. The program officially started in each Grama Seva division in the island today. The necessary plants, material and apps needed for it has been provided under the monitoring of the Department of Agriculture. The inaugural ceremony was held in Kahatudu area under the patronage of Minister Chamal Rajapaksa. He said every land suitable for cultivation will be cultivated. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Cabinet of Ministers has granted the approval to present the International Monetary Fund's report on Sri Lanka to Parliament. This was proposed by Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa. Chief Government Whip Minister Johnston Fernando stated that the government has decided to hold a debate on the IMF report when the Parliament convenes again between April 5th and the 8th. Meanwhile, former Prime Minister and leader of the United National Party Ranil Wickremesinghe had called for an immediate debate in Parliament on the IMF report on Sri Lanka. As the government has agreed to engage the IMF for financial assistance, the Parliament must be briefed on their plan of action. Today, at the second day of the BIMSTEC summit, the 18th ministerial meeting commenced. Representatives participated at the summit representing Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Myanmar, Nepal, Thailand and Sri Lanka. Minister Professor G.R. Peiris said that the Bay of Bengal zone has become the main role of the Indian Ocean amidst the rapid economic growth in member countries. Sri Lanka is in an attractive place of the geographical map as the centre of Indian Ocean. BIMSTEC will help to enhance the strong exchange of experience among the member countries. The BIMSTEC Leaders Summit will be held tomorrow. Parliamentarian Major Sudarshan Denipitiya says that the government has implemented several programs to turn Sri Lanka as the centre of tourist destination in Asia. Under the instructions of the President, an extensive program has also been implemented at the vicinity of tourism zones. Participating at the Subarathi program of the SLBC, he said that a program to develop tourism industry in the Ua province has also been implemented. The support of the Urban Development Authority and the provincial state institutions will be obtained in this regard. Joining the program, Deputy General Manager of the Railways, V.S. Polvatta, said that measures have been taken to increase the facilities targeting foreign tourists. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The distribution of plants among the staff of media institutes has commenced. It will be initiated under the program of planting a sapling at the auspicious time. The Ministry of Environment has begun this program in order to increase the forest coverage by 30%. The program will be carried out in parallel to the program of Husma Denaturu National Tree Planting Program, according to the Sinhala and Tamil New Year auspicious times. The distribution of plants to the media institutes will be conducted until Thursday, and that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
The residents in Meegangadura area has complained that they are facing a threat of wild elephants. They said that a herd of wild elephants always loitering in the surrounding area. Therefore, the people are in fear of travelling. The elephants are also damaging their crop cultivations. They request the Director of Wildlife of the southern province of Lunugam to chase them away to the forest reserve. And that was Watchlight.
More prizes, more gains with CIB New Year offers. Valuable gifts for every bill. 20% discount for bank cards until 10th of April. Visit CIB today.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
No matter what anyone says, for your lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, Friendly Leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
The headlines: Ukrainian officials claim 5,000 killed in Mariupol. The US President proposes $813 billion national security budget. UN chief calls for humanitarian ceasefire in Ukraine. World news in detail. Ukraine's besieged city of Mariupol has been seen the worst of the fighting for weeks. The UN says the constant shelling has made it difficult to know just how many people have been killed. Ukrainian media outlets quoted the mayor of Mariupol as claiming that about 5,000 people have been killed since the Russian invasion. Russians are fighting hard to gain control of the port city and get the message back to the country. People in Mariupol are growing more desperate. City officials say 4 in every 10 buildings have been destroyed. Very few have been spared damage. US President Joe Biden has unveiled a new budget that's heavy on defense, saying the US military needs the resources to keep Americans safe. Biden said the world has changed. In addition to dealing with terrorist organizations for the second quarter of 21st century, once again facing increased competition from other nation-states, China and Russia, which are going to require investments to make things like space and cyber and other advanced capabilities, including hypersonics. Biden wants to increase national defense spending by 4% in 2023 to $813 billion. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres has stressed that the United Nations will work to bring about a ceasefire to stop the humanitarian crisis that is unfolding in eastern Ukraine and other areas of the country. Antonio Guterres spoke to reporters at the UN headquarters in New York yesterday. He said he has asked one of his deputies to immediately explore with the parties involved about the possibility of implementing a humanitarian ceasefire in Ukraine. He said he has assigned the mission to Under-Secretary General Martin Griffiths. Griffiths is in charge of humanitarian affairs. Back to the headlines of the world news. Ukrainian officials claim 5,000 killed in Mariupol. The US President proposes $813 billion national security budget. The UN chief calls for humanitarian ceasefire in Ukraine. And that ends World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
For your wheel lease, visit the Leasing Mahagedara. People's Leasing, friendly leasing Mahagedara. More information from the nearest People's Leasing branch.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by... Let's take coal out of the coconut tree and make the island thriving and prosperous. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
A project to clean and reconstruct the dilapidated tanks in the southern province will commence in the Galle, Matra and Hambantota districts. The Irrigational Department of the southern province has taken measures to remove invaded aquatic plants by using machineries. There are only 800 tanks in the Hambantota district. The aim of this move is to enhance water capacity in reservoirs and to increase the fish resources. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by... The coconut tree is well grown in almost all the parts of the island. It is an exceptional source of extra income. The shell, the husk and almost all the parts of the coconut tree makes you money, providing you with an excellent extra source of income. It will also help to nourish the economy of the country. You will be guided with all necessary informations regarding the coconut cultivation, with the novel cultivation techniques and all other related and upgraded informations by the Coconut Research Institute, Lunavilla. Call our hotline 1928. WhatsApp 070 400 1928.
Sports News is brought to you by...
Sampath Bank, we present your future.
Hambantota and Pallekele will host the two semi-finals of the National Super League 4-day cricket tournament from 31st March to the 3rd of April. The teams of Colombo, Galle, Jaffna and Kandy have qualified for the semi-final rounds of the tournament. The Colombo team is leading at the points table of the National Super League cricket tournament. The Kandy team is in the second place, while third and fourth places have been secured by Jaffna and Galle teams respectively. The winners of the two matches will meet in the final scheduled to be played at the Galle International Cricket Stadium from 7th to the 10th of April for prize money worth 7.5 million rupees. And that is Sports News.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP You Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The retail prices which were imposed on medical devices have been increased. The relevant Gazette notification has been issued by the Ministry of Health. The new prices will be implemented with effect from midnight yesterday. Accordingly, the prices of contact lenses, pulse oximeters and blood glucose meters and stents will be increased. And that is Business News.
Business News, sponsored by...
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSP You Trust.
Economic News, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act No. 42 of 2011.
Treasury bills worth over 48 billion rupees will be issued. The central bank has announced that the auction will be held tomorrow. Treasury bills maturing on 91, 182 and 364 days will be issued. Biddings have been called from primary dealers on government securities. And that was Economic News.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Weather Report.
The Met Department says that showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in the island except in the northern province and in the Trincomalee district after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimetres can be expected at some places in the Sabragamu and Nuwa provinces and in the Kurunagala, Hambantota and Anuradhapura districts. That was the weather report, and to end this news broadcast, back to the headlines. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa says he will continue his premiership. 5,000 rupee allowance will be provided to 3.1 million low-income families. Concessions will be given to people who have been affected by the Uma Oya project. National Home Garden Programme of Haritha Dayak begins today. Cabinet approval to submit the IMF report to the Parliament. Ministerial meeting of the BIMSTEC begins. And in foreign news, Ukrainian officials claim 5,000 killed in Mariupol. And with that, we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.